Hopefully you're doing well. It's a Sunday night. I showered and everything. So super glad you guys are here. I wanted to share something with you that I had known and I had used, but I had forgotten about. And um, I feel like sometimes right now, I mean, I don't know if it's right now, it's probably like all the time, but I just feel like there's so much on my brain. Like I am having a really hard time tracking the most simplest things. I get easily distracted, and I just think it's our the spin cycle in which we live, right? So I wanted to talk to you about something that I am trying to do. I just got back from the Teachers Pay Teachers conference. So that was kind of nice, but it made me start thinking about my systems, things that I have in place, and how I could do better. So oftentimes, so here's Dee Dee Wills. Okay, so I come in the morning. This is how I'm working on starting my day off better. And the reason why I'm telling you all of this, because I think that you're going to be able to apply some of this to your life as well. But I'm working on starting my mornings off a little bit more productive. Typically, what I do is I wake up, and the first thing I do is I open up my computer and I go right to my email. And what happens when I do that is I start to squirrel, right? I'm like answering this and I'm looking at this, and there's a new offer, and there's all this noise coming at me. Hello, Leah. All of this kind of noise coming at me. And instead of starting my day off as I had planned by looking at my planner, I'm starting the day off by playing a little bit of whack-a-mole. So I was thinking and reflecting about what it was like when I was in the classroom full time, and how you have all of your students behind you and you're trying to get the attendance in and you're trying to do all this other stuff. And maybe, you're experiencing the same thing. Or maybe you're at home and you are wanting to, I don't know, do something specific in the morning. Maybe watch a workout video. Maybe you want to, check in with your favorite social media channel. I would say don't do that because that's a rabbit hole. But maybe there's some kind of routine you're trying to do. If you're a Weight Watcher, maybe you want to log into Weight Watchers. Maybe you want to log into MyFitnessPal, right? You want to maybe make some healthy choices. Maybe you want to log into some kind of meditation program first thing in the morning. So anyhow, I just wanted to kind of let you know something that I've done that's going to help me start off the day on the right foot. So technology. We're going to try this. I want to share my screen. And I don't want to share you don't want to see my entire screen. You're going to not love that. So I think I just want to share this screen. Hi, Jackie. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen. So this is another, I have two computers, right? So I'm going to start looking this direction. So I don't want you to think like I've squirreled. So right now, what I used to happen was when I opened up a window, instantly what I would see is my email inbox. And I don't want to see that anymore. I want to get there, but I don't want that to be the first thing that I see, right? So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to hit maybe. I think I should be able to open up a new window. Let me just double check. New window. It's not showing it there. So let me just drag it over here. It's not letting me drag. The other thing I want to do is, have my technology work. That would just be freaking amazing. Let me move my camera a little bit. Sorry, I have 500 things open, which is why I can't see. I got to move my camera out of the way. Here we go. This is what I want to share. Okay, so when I open up my window, what I want to do, I'm going to see if I can make me small and that big. I want to make sure that I open it up with a certain web page, okay? And as soon as I say that, I realize it's not working because I'm not opening my window because I already had it open to do this program. Okay. But let's just pretend that I had this right and it's going to work. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. And then I'm going to walk you through how you're going to do it. What I want to do is when I open up a new tab, I want it to open up with a certain website. So I'm going to go over to, oh my gosh, my settings. Why does this look completely different? Hold on. Because I'm hitting the wrong button. You guys. It's only because you're here. All right, let's try this again. We'll edit all this out, okay? Let's go ahead and I'm going to open up a new Chrome tab. I was hitting the wrong spot, you all. Okay. Show this. Show it big. Okay. Oh, shoot. I have my emblem there. Let me get rid of that because that's going to mess us up. Okay. Got rid of it. So now you can see not the entire screen. This is going to go so well in my head, y'all. Because you can't see what's above. See where it says my little picture up in the corner above my head here? There's a little picture there, but you don't see my browser bar across the top. So I'm going to do something different. Why don't you talk amongst yourselves while I do this? Sorry. I'm going to show you where I'm going, okay? That way you can see it. And I'll share this a different way. Just going to do a really quick screenshot. And legitimately, I'm probably going to have to just do this over and over again for each slide. So let me share that in the screen. Yeah, turn and talk. Turn to talk. That's perfect. Okay, I'm going to share this in the stream instead of this. Okay. Seemed like such a good idea. We made it. So I just put a little screenshot in there. But right up here at the very top right-hand corner of the screen, do you see those hamburger dots, right? Okay, so see those hamburger dots. Those are the ones that you're going to want to click on. And when you do that, you're going to have the option of settings. Oh my gosh, I'm making this way harder than it needs to be. So you're going to go ahead and click on settings. Have you ever seen those shows where like very slowly things start to fall apart and it's like in slow motion and you see it happening, but you can't seem to look away. That's what you're seeing right now. All right, so I'm going to add a different screen here. And this should be what it looks like when you hit that hamburger dot, right? You're going to open it, you're going to hit the hamburger dot, you're going to go down until you see settings and click on settings. Okay, are you with me so far? You're like, no, Dee, we've given up on you completely. I'm gonna blow this up kind of bigger so that you can kind of see what I want you to look at here. Okay, so let me go ahead and insert an arrow. Let me turn it. And right here, it says on startup. Okay. That's what you're going to want to, this is real life. At least I'm not like, I don't have 20 kids behind me. I only have 2 dogs and they're like totally okay. Otherwise, if this is in your classroom, you'd be like, your principal would walk in, right? That's exactly what would happen. Okay. So you're going to click on that on startup. Hi, Don. I'm going to go ahead and come over here. I'm going to show you what happens next when you get there. And I'm going to make another screenshot here. I'm just using that snipping tool. And at this very moment, I'm thinking any other tips I may not tell you because you're like, this is a hot mess. Under the back. And then right here is what I want to do. I want to open it up to a specific page. Look at me. I'm like, this is like I'm just moving it around. This is just a specific page. So every morning when I wake up, I want it to be on something called Trello, which is an organizational tool. That's the website that I want to have it on when I open it up in the morning. It tells me what I have for the day, what's going on in the future, all of that stuff, right? I love the snipping tool too, Suzanne. Oh my gosh, Taryn, I just saw your little note about the SDE conference. So good. Just showed up today. And I'm here again. But you can do is add a page on there, right? I used to have that set for my email. So I want you to think right now how you would want to have maybe you want to have your school email open up with certain things, maybe where the attendance is, right? Or where maybe your school email, right? Because you're gonna need to check that and keep tabs on that. Maybe where you have, instead of having all these things on your desktop, you can have them all open up at one time. You see on here, I'll make it bigger so you can see it. Do you see where it says add a page? So I can have, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 different tabs open up right when I launch my Chrome browser. So that was the one thing that I thought I would share with you, because it really is shifting the way that I start my morning. Maybe at home, you have a different email than you have at school, right? So maybe at school, you have a different Gmail account than you have at home. Maybe you go ahead and set it up so that you, check your, maybe you want to check your fitness, where you track your fitness, or where you your Peloton. I don't know, but there's probably a website that you would rather start your day off than another one. I think a couple of things that can happen, at least to me, is that as much as I love social media, and I'm talking to you on right now, it's really fragmented my thought process. And I feel like, even though I think it's great for communicating things and like this, I enjoy it, it's almost like death by 1,000 different paper cuts. I don't know if that expression, I said that right, but sometimes, you just have constant stimulus coming in through your feed, and then seeing things that are happening to people you know and love, or people you kind of know, and then you have an emotional response, or maybe almost a numbing response, right? But I feel like it's almost like you're sitting down and you're eating a bag of chips, and before you know it, the bag is gone and you didn't really experience it. So I wouldn't recommend starting your day off with social media. I think it can easily, you're like, I'm going to be on here for 3 seconds, and all of a sudden you've been on there for an hour and a half. So or maybe that's just me. Maybe that's not you, but maybe that's just me. That was one thing I wanted to show you. The other thing I wanted to show you was on the search bar. Okay, so sorry, Harriet's grunting down here below. I wanted to show you how you can make your search bar customizable. I don't know about you guys, but I have all these different websites that I go to, and she's being obnoxious. One of the things that I can do is I can bookmark them by hitting the star and bookmarking them. But another way that you can do it is by dragging them onto your bookmark bar. Nothing makes me crazier than looking for something and I can't find it. I mean, I'm like, I know I have it, it's in a folder. And if it's a website that I go to a lot, I want to make sure that I have them saved in a certain spot. So let me know if you find that's something that's going to be helpful for you. And I'm going to figure out a way to show you how to do that. Okay. So, all right. So let me know if you think that's something that'd be helpful. And while you're talking amongst yourselves, I'm going to go ahead and open up that other window. I don't know how to share. There's got to be a way that I can share my whole screen without that thing happening. I'm holding my breath. Can you guys tell? I'm holding my breath. You really can't see everything. You can totally add them into folders. You can't really see what I'm wanting to show you. So I'm going to do another tool, a snipping tool again. Let's say that I wanted to go to chewies.com because Ozzy and Harriet really, really love, their dog cookies. So let me go ahead and snip this, and she's here. She's like, did you just say cookies? She knows a couple of words. She knows the word cookie. Oh my gosh. And she knows the word night night, or the expression night night. Nobody loves sleep more than Harriet. We feel like she's like an old soul. Okay, let me go ahead and share this little snip that I did for you. I know Chewy's is kind of, actually I've only ordered one thing there, but I probably need to take advantage of it more often. Okay, so I have there an arrow pointing to, it's a little lock. It's a little tiny lock at the top. And if you just click on it and drag it down to that bar that's right underneath it, if you just click on that little lock and you drag it down to this bar here, then it's going to save it on your toolbar here. And what Suzanne was saying, let's say it's something, for Chewy, that would be personal. That's not business related for me. So I could drop it right over here into that personal folder. And then that way I have a spot for it to go. Let me know if that's making sense. But organizing your Google is a great way for you to have your hands on things that otherwise, if you have a squirrel brain like me, you're like, wait, what was I doing? And then all of a sudden you find yourself scrolling through, pictures of a monkey walking a dog, right? Like, how did that happen? I don't know. Are you able to show us how to change the fonts on your sentences? Your Science of Reading Daily? 100%. I can do that for you. Absolutely. It makes sense. Okay, good. So those are two things that I think are really helpful. The other thing is, how like if you put your password in, you're signed into your Google account and you put your password into a website and it asks if you want to save it. If you say yes, you can always go back and look in. Oh, Crystal, that's smart. You can always go back and look in your autofill, and you can find your password. So if you're like, I can't remember my password, you can always go there and find it. So just an idea for you, you would find that in I'm gonna make a picture for you. Make a picture. I feel like that's what my grandma used to say when she was going to take a picture. She called it make a picture. I was going to show you where that is. Please ignore the Hot Mess Express that is my settings. And you know, I had one password compromised. Heaven help me. And so I have to go in and change 134 because I'm the least secure person on the planet. So don't do as I do, just do as I say. Don't use the same password for everything. A lot of those I don't even use anymore. But I'm going to show you what that looks like and how you find it, because it is a great way for you to find your passwords. And if you need to change your passwords or something like that, you have it all. Now, some of you are like, Dee Dee, this is something I already know. It's easy breezy. But so you do that over here. I got to move my thing a little bit. In the autofill, right? Here's the autofill. And then if you want to, you can come up here and you can search for it. So if it's like, I don't remember my Chewy's password, you can write the word Chewy's in there. And then you can scroll down. Let's just pretend like this is it. And if I clicked on that little eyeball, oh, I don't know if you can see that. But I clicked on that little eyeball, this password would show up for whatever, for that URL. I don't even know what that is. I don't even know what that is. That's pretty scary. But if I just clicked on that eyeball, then I don't think you can see it because my head is big. Right here is where I'm pointing. If you just click on that, then the password would display. Right now it's just ... but you would be able to see it. Does that make sense? So that's another thing that I use more times than I care to admit, because I can never remember a password. So when you're logged into Google Chrome and it asks you if you want to save that your password for that website, sometimes it's a good idea to say yes, especially if you're going to come back to it, because it's going to allow you to be able to go back and find that later if you need to. Let's see. I want to show you the PowerPoint that you were talking about. Taryn, you wanted to see that. So let me go ahead and bring one of those files up, and then I'm going to walk you through how you can change a couple of things really simply. So just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the file that I wanted. Here we go. So this is the Not Your Mother's Sight Words slide deck, because those of you who don't know what you're looking at, that's what this is. This is the slide deck that we use so that we can have our daily review. So this is kindergarten, week 9, day 5. And as you know, each day has something different in there. And so each PowerPoint, each week you have each week you have 5 different PowerPoints is what I'm trying to say, but I'm looking here. Okay, so each week you have 5 different PowerPoints. But it may be that you don't like this font. You're like, this font, and I don't, maybe you don't have the font. I've given you a link where you can download it. You're welcome. About the Google password thing. I use it more times than I care to actually admit out loud. But maybe you want to put this into Google Slides. And when you do that, this is not a systems font. So you need to change it to a systems font, right? So maybe that's something that you want to do. Maybe you just don't like that F, or you don't like that T, or you're using a Danilian font in your school, right? Some of those things can happen, and you want to change and you're like, that sounds like a horrible idea. That's going to take me a long time. But I'm going to show you how it's ridiculously simple. Okay. And you're going to be like, What? So on this screen here, I think I need to be on one of the slides. So let me just open that one up. And this right, I'll show you something else. This can make them smaller. So if you don't want students to see what's coming, I mean, obviously you can put it into, you can put it into slideshow, right? You can put it into slideshow. That's an option for you. Or you can just make it smaller, and then you can make this, whoa, not that big, bigger if you want to. By using there's these little tools down in the bottom right hand corner. So those are some things that you can do. All right. Okay. So now you're like, this is not the font for me. So you're going to do this from your home screen. Okay. You're going to be on your home screen. And it's always a good idea to just click on it to make sure that it's highlighted. Sometimes when you just click on it, it has like these, it may be hard for you to see, but these are really like dotted, like a dotted line. So you just want to make sure that you're actually in it. And then you're going to go here and you're going to click on replace fonts. Okay. This is the name of the font that's there, but maybe your heart is so happy with Comic Sans. I'm not going to judge you. You could be happy with Comic Sans. So I'm going to go down. I have a ridiculous number of fonts. Comic Sans. There it is. And when I hit replace, it's going to replace yes, close. It's going to replace everything in that whole PowerPoint slide. And now I can load it to Google Slides, and it's going to be perfect for my slide deck. So that's an option for you. And then, of course, if you don't want to do that, you can just hit undo. The other thing that is something I probably use more in product creation, but if you know me, you know that sometimes I make typos, and oftentimes if I make a typo, I make it throughout. So let's just imagine that you were writing a letter to a parent, and you have the student's name throughout there. I don't know. I'm trying to think of an applicable need for this. Or that's probably the most applicable. Maybe you want to have a template and you want to say, you want to go ahead and change the name of the student throughout. You don't want to lose it, or maybe you spelled it wrong. You just had a typo in there and you want to change it throughout. How many of you have ever had something that's on every single, I've done it where like my watermark is on every single page, and then I realized I needed to change the year or something, like a little typo, but it's on 700 pages, which is an exaggeration, but it could easily, I have pages that are 300 pages long, right? And to go in and change every single one, I would be not happy. So what you can do is do a replace, and it's in the exact same, like you started off exactly the same way. So you just go here and you click replace. And instead of, we did replace fonts before, now we're just going to hit replace. And it's going to find all the words. I'm just going to really quick find. I'm just trying to show how this is kind of a cool thing. So let's say I want to change all the S's. That's not a very good application. But let's say I want to change all of the words that say box in this to something else. So it's there. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to hit replace. And anytime it said box, I want it to say boxes, or not like that. Okay. And then it's going to ask if I want to find the next one or replace all. I'm going to hit replace all, and it's going to tell me, guess what? There was only one in this file, and I knew that because I only put it once. And if you look here, you can see it's not going to fit on there, but it changed it. This is really helpful. I'm going to undo that. I don't want to make that change, but this is really helpful if you have I don't know, maybe you change schools and you need to change your school email address. Maybe you've had something like that and it's written on a bunch of pages. It's just a great way to kind of change it. The other thing I was thinking is, maybe you have a, a file that has a lot of sight words in there and you need to change one of those sight words to something different. So replace all in the text is great. I've the mistakes I've made is like on engaging readers, I might put the author's name spelled incorrectly. Sometimes some of those are a little bit tricky, and so autocorrect messes it up the first time, and then it just copies to every page. So I can go ahead and change all of those just with 2 clicks. So no reason, no reason to cry. You could just do that all, change all at one place. It's in that replace a font section. Speaking of this particular file, I was talking to Jenny in a thread in our Facebook group, and she was wondering, what do you do? Oh, that replace all is like amazing, right? What do we do if you're starting the kindergarten year off and your phonics that you have to stay true to, your phonics program doesn't really start introducing letters until week 3 or week 4? What do you do? Should you start practicing some of those routines? And it got my wheels thinking. My best ideas come from you guys, So whenever you have an idea and you have these questions, make sure you ask me, because whatever your questions are, oftentimes there are questions somebody else has as well. So I thought what I would do is I would have like an ease into the program week, right? So we know that when we're teaching that phonics lesson, we will do this science of reading a week after. It's going to lag a week after. But what if we went ahead and had a lesson in there that's going to show them, circles, some fine motor skills, circles and slants, circles and slants. So I was going to make a PowerPoint that had slants so that they could practice with the straight arm, doing instead of the letters, they're going to do circles. We're going to want to make sure that they're going the right way for the letters, right? So have them go one way, go from, and then practice the top to bottom and then go back up, right? Top to bottom, not bottom to top. So we're going to practice those. I think it's going to be really helpful. And then I'll make some kind of little activity that they could do so that they can actually do that activity as well. So just keep an eye out for that. I did promise her that I would have it next weekend. I am kind of in the middle of finishing up those second grade ones. So those second grade units. So I want to get those done first because I promised them. But then I'm going to go back and add an extra week. Maybe I'll just call it the intro week. And that way you'll have it available if you want to. Okay. What else? If you bought it on my blog, you just re-download it. If you bought it on TPT, you'll just re-download it. It's going to be in the kindergarten section. I'm kind of thinking maybe even first grade might want it. So I'll go ahead and make sure it's in both. Okay. What else? What else do you guys need? Tomorrow we start our first in a 5-day webinar series. So I'm going to be talking to you about center management. Thank you, Deb. I'm going to talk to you about center management. And although if you've been in some of my webinars before, I've talked about this, I'm going to slow it way down. Okay. I'm going to really focus on what you need to know for the first 6 weeks of school. Okay. So that's going to be one day. The next day, I'm going to talk about all different kinds of literacy centers, what you could do, how you can make them yourself, right? So join me for literacy centers. And then the next day, I'm going to do math centers, same idea. I'm going to show you all the different things that you can do. Then I'll be doing some talk about poetry and shared reading. And then on the final day, I'm going to lay out at least the first 2 weeks of Writer's Workshop. And what I would love for you guys to do is make sure that you come with questions, right? What are some of the things that you're worried about? What are some of the challenges that you have? And I want to make sure that by the time that webinar is over, you are leaving not feeling anxious, not feeling nervous, ready to start the school year, because I know last year was a booger of a year, right? I know last year was a booger of a year, and we don't want to repeat that. So I've been talking with a lot of teachers. I've been talking all over the place about behaviorists, and I have some ideas that aren't new, not brand new, but it's going to be a reminder of maybe how this is something that can help you. So if you're thinking, yeah, I want that, then go ahead. I just dropped the link in there, and you should be able to sign up with that link. Please try not to use a school email address. What happens when you use a school email address is oftentimes the filters block it. Okay. So try not to. Sign up. Yes, Deb, you sign up. How long will the replays be available? I either have to watch poolside. Yeah. So I'm going to leave those replays up for a couple of weeks because I feel like these are really foundational webinars, things that you're really going to want to know and may want to even come back to in a couple of weeks. So I will leave them up for a couple of weeks. The links might expire, but if they do, I'll make sure that I put them on my webinar page. I have a webinar page on my blog where you can go back and watch some other webinars that I've done. So I'll leave those up for you because I really do want, if you're not starting till September, that is a great idea for you to be able to go back. You want to get your brain straight. I think sometimes, we read things and we know it, and we've been doing this for a long time as teachers, and then we have years like we've had, and I don't want to say you've had, that have really tested you. Students are coming in with unique things. And I went back and I was doing some prep work for the webinar, and I was reading professionally because I love to read books, and I was reading some things and I'm like, yes, this is exactly what, some things that have been tried in the past are exactly the things that we want to make sure we remind you to do. So I'm going to give you some tips. If you're thinking of course, what I always do in the webinar is I give you some great coupons that you can use. So if you're thinking, yeah, I want to watch the replay, but you're thinking you might want to make a purchase, things will be on sale next week. All Monday through Friday, my TPT store will be on sale. And if you're watching in the webinar, I'm going to give you a special coupon that's going to give you even a better discount. So stay tuned for that. If you're on my email list, I'll be sending that out. The information, that the coupon code in the replay, probably on Tuesday, so that you'll have that. And then after that, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm not going to keep emailing everybody because that becomes challenging and annoying for you guys, because a lot of people are on break and they need to have that break. So I'm not going to keep emailing them about that, but I'll send out something on Tuesday, and then I will leave everybody alone. Okay. Anything else I can help you with? I'm looking over in the comments and I don't see anything else. So if that is everything, I'm going to say good evening. You're excited. I know it starts tomorrow night, you guys. Remember, the same link is going to be the same one you use all week, like we did before when we did the other series. So the link that I dropped in the comments is the one that you're going to use to sign up. And then it's going to trigger an email to you that's going to have the login link. What I would do is I would bookmark that so that you can find it, and make sure that you come back to it. Don't delete it because you're going to use the same one. Only one link's going to go out. So you want to make sure that you hang on to that. Okay. I will have my webinar fairy, Kayla, with me. So she's going to be helping answering some questions so that we make sure Mr. Wills is off doing military duty, so he's not going to be able to help me. But my webinar fairy is going to be there, so she is going to help me. Yeah, so the webinars, yes, things always come up. Like I know it always comes up for me, Patricia. So those replay links, when you sign up, they are automatically sent out to you. I don't have to do anything. They just automatically go. However, they hang out in your spam folder, so check that. And if you have a school email, there's a really strong possibility that your firewall blocked that. So that's why I always recommend that you sign up with your personal email so that that doesn't happen. All right, Tracy, thank you so much. Have a good evening. Thank you, Robin. I'm glad to see you here, and Patty and Patricia and everybody else. Have a great evening. We're getting ready to have a thunderstorm, I think. So I kind of love summer thunderstorms, so I'm not sad about that one bit. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, you guys have a great evening. Yes, Kimberly, I'm glad your anxiety levels kind of going down. We all need to have that deep breath because I think everybody's maybe in the same boat. I mean, everybody's going through different things, right? But I feel like everybody's anxiety levels are really high. So let's try to help each other. And I'm here to do whatever I can to help you guys. So you guys have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow night. Bye.